You got it. There you go. All right. We got our first speaker. Sir, please introduce yourself to the wonderful people who are here speaking truth to power. Go ahead, give you a run this stage right here. Let me move out of your way.
Hello. Thank you all for having me. Thank you all for coming. My name is Troy Hernandez. I'm an activist, a statistician, and chairman of the Cook County Green Party. So I told our organizers, let's give it up for our organizers, Joy, Anna, Kendra. I told them that I wanted to talk about money and politics and how our current system self-selects for the most cynical among us, to quote David Serrata. I told them I wanted to talk about Nobel Prize-winning economist Ken Arrow's 1963 paper, Uncertainty in the Welfare Economics of Medical Care, that explains why the free market doesn't work for medical care. Then I started rambling with about my experience with the healthcare system, and they said you should talk about that. So I'm going to spend my 4 minutes talking about that. So let me take you back. It was the summer of 2008. My good friend Derek, he's a CTU teacher. Let's give it up for the teachers. It was a tough year. He had just finished his stint in Moldova in the Peace Corps, and he got engaged to his fellow Peace Corps member, and they were headed off to teach English in Lebanon, despite the ongoing infighting at the time, which was really crazy. For his Saturday afternoon bachelor party, we hit up a Cubs game at noon, and the Cubs won 5-1. Got a quality start from Ted Lilly, some key runs from Aramis Ramirez and Reed Johnson. That brings you back. And I biked up to Wrigley Field from my Taylor Street apartment on my beach cruiser. And so how are we going to get back to home base? I put him on the seat of the beach cruiser while I'm like biking, standing up. We looked like Lloyd and Harry from Dumb and Dumber while we were racing the Ashland bus down. It was a good time. So we make it back to Taylor Street. I get Derek his own bike, and we set off for Lollapalooza. And we're listening to Rage Against the Machine from across Columbus. And we notice an open security gate. And one person jogs in through the security gate, and then 2, and then 10, and 100. So we start jogging in, and we raged against the machine, watching Rage Against the Machine. And I considered that like the bachelor party success. And I'm ready to call it a day. But Derek insists we continue. And I won't bore you with the not-so-seedy details of our visit to VIPs on North and Kingsbury. But as we're mounting up on our bikes to leave, I'm warning him, watch out for these trolley car tracks. They'll grab your tire. And just as I'm warning him, my tire gets grabbed by those trolley car tracks. And I face plant into the pavement. In a burst of adrenaline, I pop right up. And Derek comes over, sits me down, calls an ambulance. And this is where this epic adventure becomes relevant. Because when the ambulance comes, I ask to be taken to UIC, where I know my insurance is good. Because even in the midst of my traumatic pain, I'm a good, discerning American consumer. But that's not how it works. The paramedic tells me they're obligated to take me to the nearest hospital, which is Lincoln Park Hospital. I had broken my collarbone, and that sucked. But to add insult to injury, 2 months later, Lincoln Park Hospital closed down. And before they could resolve my bill with UIC, they sold my debt to a debt collector. And so for the next few years, I'm spending hours and hours and hours on the phone negotiating medical bills despite having insurance. Now, I know a lot of you out there probably have stories similar to this. And some of you might be thinking, this isn't right, that's not how it's supposed to work. But you'd be wrong, because this is exactly how our system is supposed to work. Underutilized hospitals shut down. Debt sold to the highest bidder. Peasant, his time is worthless. So let's compare that to getting a COVID vaccine at the United Center. You show them your ID, you get your vaccine, you're done. That's the universal health care they always say can't work here, but it did work here. And it works everywhere else. And the statistics show it's twice as efficient as what we've got here now. So maybe we won't get Medicare for all today, and maybe our statistical analyses will once again be ignored. But I hope to see you out here next year with 10 more friends, because while they can ignore our brilliant analyses and they can buy off compromised politicians, they have a harder time ignoring people in the streets. Thank you.